A major airline price war. It's wheels up and airfares down. Saddam Hussein, inside information on who gave him what to build the bomb. And Eye on America. They lost family aboard Pan Am 103. More than 3 years later, they're still fighting for compensation. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, Dan Rather reporting. Major news tonight about business, jobs, the economy, and your pocketbook. First, the airlines. They're at war. Big ones trying to squeeze out the little ones. Everybody fighting to survive, as happened with telephones and with savings and loans. Airlines are grappling with consequences of the deregulation era. As Ray Brady reports, like deregulation or not, the results continue to reshape the American economy.
It's turning out to be the big business brawl of the decade. The 9 major U.S. airlines, the ones still surviving, duking it out in a $45 billion springtime war over passengers. It's the latest round in an all-out fare war. This one set off by American Airlines chairman Robert Crandall when he simplified and slashed fares across the board. But while low fares are a definite boon for travelers, some critics say this isn't just a fare war, it's an air war, with American Airlines trying to shoot down competitors who can't afford a long spell of low prices.
Weaker carriers are guaranteed to fail under this fare pricing strategy. The ones that appear to be particularly vulnerable, of course, is TWA, America West, US Air.
Now, the notion that by changing the fare structure in a way which our customers wanted is somehow an effort to put other people out of business is simply nonsensical.
What's going on is this. In a slow economy, air travel's way down. Over the last 2 years alone, the industry has lost $6 billion and laid off 50,000 employees. 3 airlines have gone under. Still others, like TWA and Continental, are bankrupt. For them, low fares could mean still more stormy weather ahead. Take this Dallas-New York flight. American lowered its full coach one-way fare from $595 to $300. But United and Continental will fly you for $250, and on TWA, you can go for $180. The fare war's big question: how much longer can the weaker carriers afford to fly at those low prices?
The absolute rule of thumb is you never start a fare war unless you plan to finish it or have it finish you.
Everyone knows what happens when you have fewer companies in an industry. Prices go up. So the moral might be, fly now. You might pay more later on. Ray Brady, CBS News, New York.
The cost of gasoline at the pump went up during the Persian Gulf War. It hasn't come down much, if any, but now at least it should hold steady for a while. OPEC ministers meeting in Vienna agreed today to keep pumping oil at the current rate. Iran had been demanding a cut in production to push prices up. It's been a bumpy ride lately for General Motors. Today, the giant car maker said it's going in for realignment. GM will combine divisions, and there are reports the company may drop such well-known models as the Chevy Caprice and the Pontiac Grand Prix. Another report today says Chrysler has finally struck a major deal with a Japanese car maker. According to the Detroit Free Press, Mitsubishi will buy more than $1 billion worth of car parts from Chrysler. For years before the Persian Gulf War, the Reagan and Bush administrations not only allowed but in some cases encouraged sales of U.S. weapons technology to Iraq. That was despite warnings that Saddam Hussein was trying to build nuclear weapons. That is not a new charge. But as CBS correspondent Jim Stewart reports tonight, there is new evidence to back it up from a private research group that studied U.S. government files.
As UN inspectors go about the business of destroying Iraq's nuclear plants and Scud missile program, it's been no secret that much of the technology was made in the USA. But just how much became clear today with the disclosure of confidential Commerce Department export licenses showing millions of dollars in state-of-the-art computers were sold to Baghdad at the same time the Pentagon was warning that Saddam Hussein was out to build high-tech weapons.
Saddam went shopping in the United States for what he needed to fill up his nuclear and missile production sites, and he was successful.
Working with documents leaked within the computer industry, Milholland compiled a list of technology exported to Saddam between 1985 and 1990. It includes some of the biggest names in American business: Honeywell, BDM Corporation, Hewlett-Packard, and Data General Corporation, among others. Often agents for machine tool companies in Germany, Austria, and Great Britain would purchase American computers to run their equipment as part of a package deal to the Iraqis.
Those salesmen for those companies have to know who's buying what from whom. They have to know what their stuff is going to be used for, and they have to be reasonably suspicious that it's not going to be used for the right thing, and yet they decide just to make a profit.
Many of the sales came in the midst of the Iran-Iraq war, and critics suggest the U.S. government made a conscious decision to approve the sales and aid Iraq. Not so, says the Commerce Department.
It's been determined that the Commerce Department acted correctly based upon all the information that was available at that time.
But the documents tell a story of systematic purchases and raise the obvious question of why someone didn't add up Iraq's shopping list and blow the whistle on a series of sales that, taken as a whole, could only add up to one very deadly purpose. Jim Stewart, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Investigations are now centering on an underground gasoline leak as the cause of the explosions that destroyed a working-class neighborhood in Guadalajara, Mexico. Various reports now put the death toll somewhere around 200. 15,000 people are homeless. CBS News correspondent Cindy Kennard is on the scene in Mexico.
No survivors have been found in the ruins of Guadalajara's Reforma district for 24 hours now, but the search continues. The sight of a pair of child sneakers led to one father's worst fears. 9-year-old Pablo Gonzalez was found 2 days after the explosion, beneath debris at a school where he'd been playing. Pemex will pay for this, he says, blaming the death of his child on the state-owned oil company, which some claim leaked gasoline into the city sewer system, leading to Wednesday's blast.
The time, 48 hours, completely buried, no miracles.
Lupita Enrique has been at her brother's side since he was brought here after being crushed by a falling building. He was 2 days from getting a visa, but with massive injuries, his sister doubts now he'll ever get to the U.S. There are dozens of children in the same hospital, some gravely hurt and given little chance to survive. Doctors say they're desperately short of medical equipment. And there is growing outrage over a tragedy which many here think easily could have been prevented. An aggressive government probe has triggered resignations by some local officials blamed for not responding to complaints of gas leaks before the blasts. In a raucous session of the Guadalajara City Council today, the mayor announced he's stepping aside, pending a federal investigation of what caused the explosions. This was a scene over and over again today at the surrounding cemeteries where mass graves have been dug in the anticipation of many more bodies. Today, one woman buried her year-old baby. More than half of those killed have been children. Crude crosses now stand as symbols of the grief and frustration felt by victims of this disaster, which most believe did not have to happen. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, Guadalajara.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News. Accusations that the Los Angeles police chief is stoking fires of racial discontent. And is there discrimination in big-time wrestling in Japan, or is it all too much?
Her name is Sarah, and she's lucky, because today she'll encounter egrets doing dances and alligators in the wild. She'll see how other moms take care of their kids. And she'll be doing this, recycling, through a program of the National Park Service and its recycling partner, Dow.
We can make a difference in what tomorrow brings.
Together with the National Park Service and folks like Sarah.
Dow lets you do great things.
It's a mower like no other. For only $299.99, get this 5-horsepower Craftsman power-propelled mower that lets you bag or mulch. Save $100. It's a spectacular value above the rest.
I tried it, and I feel great.
Grape Nuts Try It for a Week is your week to discover.
Breakfast with Grape Nuts cereal helps keep me going all morning.
It's a fat-free, natural energy source.
Next week is Post Grape Nuts Try It for a Week.
You've got to try it.
It's the second day of deliberations in the Los Angeles police brutality trial. Outside the jury room, the case is still generating controversy, and so is the Los Angeles police chief. Correspondent Ron Allen explains why.
It's our job to maintain a calmness.
Everyone liked that advice Chief Daryl Gates gave to LAPD, telling them to be professional after the verdict in the King case. But the chief kept talking.
Now, there are some in our community, supposedly responsible leaders, who have suggested that if the verdict doesn't come out the way they believe that it ought to come out, that some will take to the streets and there may be some violence in this city.
We wanted to ask you about the videotape. It's about what it is you're trying to say, essentially, because some people think it's stirring up the pot, if you will.
You gotta be kidding. What kind of a question is that?
Maybe Gates isn't trying, but he's sending shockwaves through the community.
He's telling the police department that there are all those people out there who want to stir things up. That's not true.
And Gates touched another nerve, criticizing the police commission's choice of Philadelphia's police chief to replace him.
I simply was pointing out that I think within the department we have some highly talented people.
Bill, you're on Talk Radio.
Everywhere Gates went today, controversy followed.
We'll fight you on every hill, behind every gully. You will never be elected mayor of this city.
That caller doesn't like Gates the chief, and he doesn't like the idea of Gates running for mayor. And Pastor Cecil Murray, who's trying to keep the community calm during jury deliberations in the King case, isn't happy with the chief's comments either.
He has chose to set us against each other, the police against the civilians, blacks against whites, and now we're reaping the whirlwind.
After the jury renders a verdict, the minority community plans to hold an open meeting here at one of the city's most influential churches. A chance for everyone to express their feelings, a chance to diffuse the potential for any problems. Ron Allen, CBS News, Los Angeles.